If a parent is not doing well and must move from their home, obtain legal advice before you approach any adult sibling living in the home with your parent. Hi, my name is Rob Wells. I'm the Landlord Warrior on TikTok and YouTube. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. Now, I'm coming with you with a war story, with a situation I just dealt with in court here. The situation was, we'll say the parent, his mom, basically, wasn't doing well. Daughter was in charge of taking care of mom, was their legal representative. There was another brother and a sister living in the home, basically, with mom for a number of years. Basically, they moved in with mom. Mom didn't charge any rent. They're what we would call a tenant at will, basically. Then, several years later, fast forwarding to now, mom becomes medically ill, can't take care of herself, has to move to a nursing home, basically. And daughter, legal representative, is trying to figure out what to do, basically. Bills are mounting up, expenses are mounting up with the nursing home and so forth. What any reasonable person would do is ask the siblings inside the home, hey, can you take care of mom's expenses? Little did daughter legal representative know that there were several issues with that. Number one, at least in California, a tenancy at will or even a month-to-month tenancy, even if they were paying rent to stay in the home, that automatically terminates when a person is unable to contract anymore. In many of these situations, and I've been in these situations myself with my own family members, a person loses capacity because of an illness. Okay, maybe they have dementia or whatnot. It's harder for them because of their medical conditions to manage their day-to-day affairs. So a legal representative like a trustee or a power of attorney holder have to basically take over that situation there. What daughter did wrong was basically ask the siblings to pay, rent or other charges, expenses to the home. That could be construed as rent and creating another tenancy, basically. And if you don't know all this, that could cause you problems down the road. In my case, what ended up happening was daughter wanted to terminate that tenancy. We issue notice, and then siblings, basically, they don't want to end the free ride, basically argue that their tenancy is protected under the Tenants Protection Act. And in many courts right now, judges are deeming tenancies at will legal tenancies that could be subject to Tenant Protection Act protections. We haven't had a court case yet that directly establishes whether or not a tenancy at will is covered under the TPA, but many judges will deem that a tenancy is covered, particularly because the Tenant Protection Act refers to a lawful tenancy. So you created two problems. You may have created a problem where you may need just cause to evict a tenant, and also too, you changed what normally under the civil code would be a tenancy that would terminate because mom's inability to contract. That tenancy would have automatically terminated. You would need no notice to get that tenant out, other than telling them that a family member is no longer able to contract, so the tenancy is terminated at that point. Problem is, these issues are really complex. Like they say in criminal court, anything you can say will be used against you in a court of law. Well, it will be used against you in an eviction court. So, got to be very careful. If you have a situation where a loved one or a parent has to move out of their home, their adult siblings, going to recommend that you basically seek legal advice immediately, because every situation is factually different. You might have a local ordinance, basically, that offers authorized tenants, certain protections like just cause, or you might have to do certain things. You might have to comply with state law, and all that stuff is really convoluted and fact driven. So you need to have someone look at your situation.